Speaking of things that are beautiful, the NFL schedule release happened this past week, and this
Before we get
was
into that, like
yeah.
one, I felt like there wasn't enough hype into this first. Two, did it excite you that the schedules were released? Did it make you feel closer to that season was about to start?
In a way.
What it's supposed to do, right? This is like the unofficial beginning of this season after the draft, right? The draft is like, oh, we're really starting, but this like makes you think, oh, football. Like I can see it. I can see the dates that I'm looking for. And
Okay.
they did a piecemeal, like they announced some week one matchups, and they announced all the international games, and they announced some little things,
It
and
made me
then
excited to think about it.
yeah, they had a whole schedule release show that was all into it. But you were probably watching hockey, Jim. So
I think it's more of a dick tease.
I mean, it's definitely. When would you rather it come out, though?
I would like maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the road. Let me forget the draft happened and then like drop that on you. Like, hey, the schedules. We're
So like
still
after
here.
after rookie minicamp.
Yeah. Keep the football going. Because now what do we got left? It's now the dead of summer,
You
man.
got training camp. I mean, that's what you're looking forward to at this point. Is training camp starting?
Hard knocks.
I mean, I can see it being like a midsummer thing, like middle June schedule release. But at the same time, you got to give all your teams and venues an opportunity to sell tickets.
Sure, but give me one more week. Let's stretch it just a little bit. Because eventually we're gonna get that part of the summer where it just sucks. Give me something else.
You just want you want this way till June. That's all you want.
Eh, maybe next week.
I don't know if a week's gonna hurt you on this one.
I'm just saying, give me some more football.
Okay. So the schedule release happened, and this was the social media frenzy. This was which social media team or teams have it figured out and how to engage their fan bases and the NFL really. Of note were the Chargers schedule release, the Titans schedule release, and the Browns, at least that came to my attention. Were there any others that you all saw? I mean, we'll talk about our other teams. The Chargers are Jim's team, but we'll talk about the Steelers and the Bucks as well. But aside from those three, did any other catch your eye?
I didn't see the Steelers. Forgive me, answers, but
Well, we'll get to them. They were not one of the highlights of the day.
Yeah, they don't do like the big flashy.
It's it's Pittsburgh, Jim. A lot of these, we'll say, traditional teams, the teams that have been around for a while, the established organizations didn't necessarily go big.
right.
So
The I did watch a like little clip special thing about like teams talking about the schedule release being the like they were calling it like the Super Bowl for their social media departments and stuff like that, like their
yeah,
marketing type department. I'm like, yeah, but I feel like that's over the last couple of years.
yeah. Well, it's the last couple of years. I think it's come to our attention, and
Yeah.
the Chargers is really the organization and the social media team that has elevated it.
They gotta
Right,
do something right.
they're the clear. I think they're the clear winner in total production value and entertainment value.
Yeah.
This, if you don't remember, this is a similar format to last season. They highlight each team as part of a clip in anime fashion. Apparently, Baltimore Guru Keith told me that there's a lot of anime references that if you're not into anime, you would not understand, in addition to the football references that go into each of these scenes.
So Keith's in the anime?
Yes.
Okay.
Has some not currently, like from way back in his youth or in his youth. Of note throughout this, the Lions, when the Chargers playing the Lions, they had the gambling notice,
So good.
That was funny.
which I remember after I thought about it more, they did that for the Falcons last year as well, because they played the
Yeah.
Falcons and they had and I think it may have been like the same graphic. They just changed up the colors on it, like the color scheme, which is pretty cool. They had Aaron Rodgers in downtown New York, and the amount of detail throughout the entire Chargers video that they put together was amazing. And the Aaron Rodgers downtown scene apparently also had like some signs about Cougars next to a Zach Wilson picture.
Well, there were
something
so
like
many
that.
breaks in that clip.
Yeah, you just had to keep looking around to find things. Apparently, they had on there a viral TikTok that went viral for the wrong reasons, like one that the Jets actually like deleted from their social media sphere. They had that scrolling in one spot. They had a whole bunch of things in there.
I need to
So
like go watch it back slowly to look for
Yeah.
all the little
Now I
things.
want to.
And
I think
like
you just
pause.
have to pause it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right, they're talking about this one on McAfee, I think on Friday, because the schedule releases on Thursday, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And like they were breaking it down, like there was something like whatever offensive player of the year was on there. And then there was one that was like Rex Ryan's goddamn snack stand.
Yeah, that one was one of the more detailed, at least the more detailed of details that I could understand. This is what I got to. They had the Raiders. They had the casino. It was hitting a jackpot for Jimmy G, and then when the cash out happened, it was for minus 72 million, whatever his contract is.
Yeah.
And then there was a QR code included with that, which apparently was a truly scannable QR code that took you to a website that said, "Are you a Chargers fan or are you a Raiders fan?" And if it was a Chargers fan, I think it went to their website to like purchase tickets. And if it said if you clicked you're a Raiders fan, it sent you to tips on how to get a job.
Uh,
Wow.
So
That's funny.
it was pretty good. Some of these they played two teams twice. So the Raiders had the double. They also had the Chiefs who they're playing twice, and it was a knock on Chiefsaholic. So Chiefsaholic is the super fan that was arrested for robbing banks, and the first one was him taking off the the house arrest bracelet, and then the second one was him on the road running from the police. So those are the ones that stuck out to me. Are there any that you all saw that you were interested? Like, oh, that was a good one. As far as the Chargers one.
Gosh, I have to go back and watch it after record this episode, see what else we missed.
Oh,
So
I mean,
was
they were
that-
all good.
Was Pat McAfee in that one?
He was, yeah. It was,
Yeah, he was in a helicopter.
yeah. They were him and AJ Hawk. I think were calling. It was like them announcing a game or something.
Yeah, but yes,
I think it was good. Did they play the Colts, or was it part of the Packers? Did they play the Packers? I forget which team. Yeah, him and AJ Hawk, I think, were in that one. So
How do you think those? We'll get to the other ones here in a minute, but how do you think those guys feel? The Pat McAfee show to be in so many of these.
Oh, he loved it.
That's the kind of impact he's got.
right, he's even making into these. We'll get to later. He made his way into the Browns one as well, which was pretty cool. Which actually crossed a lot of different interests for him, for Pat McAfee. That is. So I mean, it only grows their brand that he's being recognized within that community.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, he's probably pumped because and I think it works both ways because now he's gonna talk about those on his show, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's like a mutual thing. Apparently, this is an in-house person who has been doing these for the Chargers, which is interesting because that's a lot of work and money that goes into keeping somebody on your staff to do that.
They start all year.
Well, you start all year because some
That's
of those
true,
are
'cause you don't know
some of
the
those are
schedule
more
yet.
well, not even that, but some of those are more current storylines.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at least going into like next season, like some of your future opponents.
Oh yeah, your in division matchups as well as the matchup where who you're going to play from what other conferences.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just talking like the storylines.
Right. I mean, you could have some ideas, and then if something comes up, like the whole gambling thing with the Lions, I want to know what was their plan for the Lions before that happened.
Right.
Right. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, that had to be a change. The Chiefsaholic thing is more recent. So there's some stuff that
The
may have
vape
been...
with the Miami coach.
Yeah, that's true. That the Belichick thing of him, sitting there plugged into all the screens and everything. That you could can those ones.
Yes.
But we'll see. But that was I think number one. To me at least, that was the best of all of them. At least got the most pub. Next was the Titans, which was a good one and was very low it didn't have a great production, didn't necessarily have thousands, millions of dollars in production value, right? The Titans,
I laughed out loud at that one.
right? That was just, it was a simple concept and they just nailed it. So for the Titans, they went into downtown Nashville and they just asked people, they showed people the logos of the team that they would be playing and asked them who the team was. And it was as simple as it was. Now, apparently they spent like 5 or 6 hours on the strip just asking random people, and it seemed to be there were about 3 or 4 consistent groups of people or persons that they kept
The
asking.
49, the 69ers.
You're right.
What? Sorry.
that was like a group of ladies that seemed to be on like a bachelor party, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
that would crack me up. And the other one was the fact that they were so confident calling the Colts the Cowboys.
Yeah,
The Cowboys.
Where does that come in? America's team? Not apparently not. So those were two good ones. Lightning McQueen, Jim, that was the Chargers. Somebody said Lightning McQueen for the Chargers.
Cheeto. The Cheeto.
The Cheeto, yeah.
That's
Cheeto
not
for
even
the
that's not even a
Jaguars.
real that's not a real thing.
The Browns.
like I-
That was go ahead, Nate.
I'll say, like I said, whenever that video came out, it almost felt scripted.
I feel like they probably asked a lot of people and then took the funniest answers. Like, I think they might ask, like, say you ask 30 people what this team is, most of the people probably get it right, and then you're gonna get someone who has no idea.
And then once you find somebody that has no idea, you're like, and they're funny, you keep showing them and seeing what
Yeah.
comes out. So the Falcons were referred to as the Red Stallions, and the Falcons actually changed their Twitter handle to Red Stallions the next day.
That's funny. I like that.
Well, and did you see the Colts also changed theirs to "We're not the Cowboys"?
I did not see that. That's awesome. So I mean, it's kind of like, they're playing into each other. They're kind of taking it for what it is. And you got to imagine that the social media teams, while they work for that organization, they're just trying to find ways to stay relevant and get people to interact with those accounts.
Yep.
So no pub is bad pub kind of in that game, because there were some shots taken, at certain teams in certain ways. Like the Lions can't be happy that they had like that gambling thing in there. Like that's not a positive thing for that
Right.
team. So it was a good one. It said it was low production value. It was really just going out and asking people questions and just popping it in. It was funny how they cut as soon as the name was out and it went straight to the NFL music. Like that was pretty fun.
Yes.
All right.
And last of note, before we get into sort of our teams did, at least the Steelers and Bucks did, was the Browns. So this was Brownie in a wrestling ring. Brownie the elf. Is that what we call Brownie? Brownie
I
elf?
don't know what he is.
I think he's an elf. He looks like Keebler elf.
Yeah, he's got the Keebler elf in a wrestling ring, taking on a representative of each opponent of the Browns season. There were some of it was, I watched it once and I was like, I'm just not sure if I like this. But
Yeah.
it was fun because it was a cartoony thing. I think that's what made it fun. It was like a wrestling ring.
I liked it. I thought it was
The
funny.
Miz was a commentator on it.
Right. The Miz was a
Big
commentator.
Browns fan.
Lucy the Pooh. That was my favorite one. Lucy the Pooh with his sticky L's.
As was referenced, Pat McAfee was the representative of the Colts. He was referred to as a one-trick pony. And I forget how he went down in the match. I think he got an arm drop or a leg drop to him. I think it was a leg drop.
Yeah.
So that one, like I said, I watched a couple times. Didn't really resonate too much with me, but it was definitely one that got a lot of positive feedback on the whole.
Have you seen the Cowboys one?
It wasn't Jerry.
Wasn't it Jerry? Jerry and the players. But Lord knows Jerry's got to insert himself in it because Jerry can't help himself but be involved in shit like this. I mean, it was okay. They were trying to make it like a production where, it's top secret releasing of the schedule. But, like, why does Jerry need to be involved at all?
Because
Because he's
the
Jerry.
whole cowboy world has to revolve around Jerry.
That's it.
And they wonder why they suck so bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe don't make the whole team revolve around you, and you might actually win a playoff game.
You get to the playoffs too.
Maybe.
Real
Fun.
quick, let's get into the other two teams that are represented by this group here. First, we'll go with the Steelers. Again, not flashy. It was to me, and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, and either of you, Jim or Nate, it was kind of like filmed in the style of the dodgeball. Patches O'Houlihan. This is like how to play dodgeball. The 5 D's of dodgeball.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's kind of what it seemed to me as, and it was like how to make or what to avoid in making a schedule release video. Zach Gentry of the Steelers was the person who was the center of attention, and it was, they called him by every other name, like, "Hey, Andy, how are you today?" It was like him in a classroom. So again, not flashy. Didn't really. I watched it through once and was like, okay, I can get through with this. I don't need any more.
I didn't expect much. They're just not that team.
Yeah, Jim, Nate, either of you watch it?
I didn't see it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And when I said at the beginning, I didn't
I
see it
just
at all.
skipped over it.
Yeah, like it actually, I don't think I watched it until like Friday or Saturday. Like it wasn't even like night one. I was like, oh, let me see what the Steelers did, because it just wasn't blowing up any timelines or anything. So Nate, did you watch the Bucks?
I watched it only because I saw the notes before we started here, and it bored me.
It bored you?
Yeah.
So it was intended to be an AI skit. It was titled "Extremely Hilarious and Pirate Themed Schedule Release Skit," and it was AI generated. At least they stated it was AI generated.
Yeah, sure. It was one of those like, well, everybody else is starting to do it, so we got to do something.
Yeah, gotta get something going in there. So, any other videos that I think I heard the Jaguars was kind of like in the vein of everything scripted, and then the script writer got fired at the end of the Jaguars video. So I didn't watch it, but I think that was the premise.
Yeah, I didn't watch too many other ones.
Pretty sure
Yeah,
Shad
I
Khan.
didn't see any other ones.
Shad Khan probably didn't put himself in the middle of it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, script writing. He's right up his alley with wrestling, right?
No, that's Tony, not Shad.
Aren't they in the same family?
Yeah, but Tony runs the wrestling. Shad does not.
Okay, maybe Tony was running the video.
I mean, possibly.
Yeah.